Hello my friends and welcome back to Slay the Spire 2. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Defect, which to be honest I think is the character I'm by far the worst with in Slay the Spire 2. So I wanted to use today's video to talk through how I'm going to approach learning and improving at something that I'm not super familiar with. To give you an idea of what I mean, I think I have lost 0 runs so far on the Silent, pushing up to Ascension 10, and I think my win rate on the Defect is below 40% at a much lower Ascension rate. So something is not clicking for me with this character. So today I'm going to go through, play a run, and I'll try to talk through the steps I'm taking to try to understand where I'm going wrong with the character, and I also want you in the comments to point out where you would make a different decision than I made, so that I can learn how to play the Defect. So we'll make this a more collaborative process as we go through the run. Let's jump into Ascension 5, which is where I've gotten the character to, and see what we get here. So I am not happy with any of these. Raise your max HP by 11 is mostly irrelevant, I think. I would much rather have something that helps with our deck. I really don't like delaying my Ancient reward up until the last, up until the end of the act, because having strength early on in the act is kind of the most important thing, I think, for most characters. Might be a little different for the Defect, because I often do struggle in Act 2 with this character. Whereas for most, I think by the time we end Act 1, I've gotten my deck completely set. And Cursed Pearl, I really don't like adding Greed. If there's multiple shops in this path, I might be interested in taking it anyways, because the extra gold could equal an extra card removal, and so Greed would be less of a penalty. So I could go for this shop and that, but there's no way that I can get 2 shops in this path. So I really don't like taking Greed here either. So I guess I'm going to go for Lava Rock, because it's got the most upside. Maybe we can get a couple good relics, but I'm pretty unhappy with the starting option here. I also, I'm recording this on the same day that I posted my Ascension 10 run with the Silent, and so I wanted to make one correction to that video. In that video, I said that starting at floor 4, you get hard pool fights, as in fights from the harder set of hallway enemies. That's actually not true, thanks to the people who pointed that out. It's based on the first 3 fights that you do, no matter where you do them, will always be from the easy pool. So basically the strategy should be to avoid getting your 4th hallway fight for as long as possible. Given that, I don't really want to do this path, or this path, or this path, since we would get our 4th hallway fight right away. Nice drawing by me also. Whereas this one I could do fight, 3 events, and then an elite, and that could be a pretty nice path. It does mean that we don't get a shop. Or I could do this shop, and then 1 event, take 3 fights. I think I do want a shop, at least fairly early, so I think I'm going to do this path here. So let's go ahead and clear that, and then we'll decide what to do after we face the elite. The Defect kind of struggles with early elites, is my experience as well, and that's part of why I have found the character difficult. So I'm going to look for cards that help us win that fight. This enemy is going to buff, so we can go ahead and do Strike, Dual Cast here, drop it to 14, and then I just need to roll into Double Strike to win this fight, taking no damage, or Dual Cast. So either way, a perfect first fight. Very happy about that. Okay, so I'm looking at the options here, and I think that this set of cards is part of why I have had some trouble with the Defect. All of these, like Smokestack, for example, doesn't do anything until you have a bunch of cards that create statuses in the deck. And obviously it will be good once you have those, but taking it early can set you behind. Focused Strike I do like. It's basically a better strike. It will often be some extra damage. And Compile Driver, I guess this is always going to be at least 7 damage, draw 1, and maybe will be draw 2, depending on what types of orbs we get. So I'm going to take one of these 2, because I want to put more damage in the deck to help us win these early fights. I think of these 2, I'm going to take Focused Strike, but I'm not sure which of these is correct. So that's something that I'm interested in hearing from you guys. Jump into the next fight here. Against this enemy, I can go defend, and Will this fight go long enough that I should Focus Strike over Dual Cast? I guess it's almost as much damage, right? Because Focus Strike is 9 plus 4 from the lightning, so that's 13. Whereas Dual Cast is going to be 16 right now, but less in future turns. So Focus Strike there is better. We take a 2 damage hit in return. Do I want to double strike here and take 1, or do I want to defend to prevent 1 damage? I think I can get away with playing a defend here, because the enemy is going to spend the next turn buffing anyways. And then this turn I can go Focused Strike plus Dual Cast, and then a strike, and we win the fight, taking 0 damage again. Alright, so I could add a compile driver. I could add synthesis, which can help with a lot of the powers that we're getting. Adaptive Strike is kind of interesting as well. It adds a 0-cost copy of itself to the discard pile. So by default, it's like playing 2 upgraded strikes, which could help us in the early game, and then it's going to make our deck better as we roll through it for early game fights. In the end game, having this card in our deck is going to be somewhat of a downside, because we're usually not going to want to play it and fill our deck with 0-cost 18 damage cards, because those will actually be less powerful than the things that we're trying to do. But I think this is good enough to help us through the early game. So I'm going to take a couple early game focused cards there, excuse me. All right, let's go to the shop. Here I could take Glasswork. I like this card a decent amount. I could take Leap. The Defect, I think, tends to really struggle to just get enough block, because a lot of your cards are cards like Glasswork or Hologram that just, they give you a little bit of block plus a bonus effect, but not enough to actually stop incoming damage. So Leap, I think, is surprisingly good for this character, given that you just need more block. Similarly, Bulk Up I could take. If I don't mind losing an Orb slot, obviously 2 Dexterity is a lot of Dexterity, and so I think Bulk Up is pretty good. I could also just remove a strike. I did add 2 damage cards to the deck, so I think we're just going to remove a card here. Card removal, of course, always going to be an excellent default. Go into this fight, and then we have 4 damage incoming, so I can go Focus Strike, Zap, and Defend. And if I Focus Strike this enemy, there's a chance that we kill it with our lightning here. I could hit the high health one, and then if both lightnings hit that target, then it dies, but that's only a 1 in 9 chance, whereas this gives me a higher chance of killing the enemy. We didn't, but we should be able to get it next turn. This turn, I'm going to go... This is another interesting spot with the math for this character. If I dual cast, there's a chance I'm doing 7 overkill damage to this 1 health enemy. I could strike it, and if I strike, defend, then I'm always taking 1, but we'll probably do a little bit of extra damage. I could strike, dual cast, and then if either both dual cast shots or the dual cast shot and my lightning, or 1 dual cast shot and my lightning proc go on this enemy, we take less damage. I think just strike, defend is safest here, but maybe I'm supposed to get greedy and hope that my lightning hits the low health enemy. Here I can go Adaptive Strike, and I'll play Zap, and I'll just Adaptive Strike the one that does the most total damage. And then we can end the fight, and we took, I think, 1 in that fight, so pretty good early fights for me, honestly. Alright, so in this spot, I could take Momentum Strike. I don't really need more just flat damage cards, I don't think. Claw, my understanding is that this is mostly a joke deck. It has a little more support, I think, in this iteration of Slay the Spire, but you need multiple claws and multiple ways to recur them if you want this card to be good. So I'm going to steer clear of that, and Refract, I think, is just too expensive for what we're doing. So I think here we're just going to skip. Then we'll go do our event. This is interesting. So I could give Adaptive Strike Sharp, because we're going to be shuffling more copies of it into the deck, and that could be pretty good as well, because that would be then a 0 energy, 20 damage attack. I could also play Nimble here, take Nimble here and just upgrade one of my defends. Again, having enough block is something that I have struggled with for this character, so I think I'm just going to make one of my defends Nimble. And then let's go ahead and go to the elite fight. Okay, well this is, I think, usually the elite fight that I have the most trouble with on the Defect, because this character doesn't do damage that quickly, but Adaptive Strike might make the difference here. So I'm going to use Fish Oil. I think we will need it for this fight. I'm always going to Adaptive Strike, but I guess I'll Dual Cast first, because this is a decent amount of damage. And then we can trigger Slow for a little bit of extra damage. And then here we go Strike, Strike. Oh, I should have played Defend first. Big mistake there. I could have triggered the Slow effect by playing Defend first, but before playing both of my strikes. The energy was free because we weren't doing anything with it anyways, so obviously an error. I definitely want a Zap. And I could go Defend, Defend, Zap. I think that's probably fine, and I'll use my Ship in a Bottle to block the incoming damage this turn. And a little bit more next turn as well. And then here, if I go Adaptive Strike, Dual Cast, and Dual Cast, is that enough damage? I'm always going to Dual Cast, and I'm always doing that first. And then Adaptive Strike is 20, and the second one would be a little more than 20, so not enough to kill the enemy. So do I want to instead go Defend, Strike, Adaptive Strike? Probably. I think that conserves my health a little better, and we should be able to win this fight next turn regardless. Because I should roll into at least one Adaptive Strike, kind of no matter what. Alright, so it cost me both my potions, but that's a pretty difficult elite, and we did make it through that fight. Charge Battery I like a lot. This is one of the few ways to get a reasonable amount of block on the Defect, because when you upgrade it, it's 10. And it gives you extra energy next turn, which is obviously great. Fight Through, I think, is fine, but we don't currently have anything that interacts with statuses. So, 13 block is very good, though. And maybe this is a card I'm supposed to pay more attention to. I think I'll just take the Charge Battery, but that's another inflection point that I'd really like people's input on. Let's go to the Campfire here. I think with 47 HP, I can get away with upgrading. So I could upgrade Adaptive Strike. Obviously, we're going to draw a lot of copies of this card, so 5 more damage on it is pretty good. Focus Strike upgrades to 2 Focus, which is really nice. But Zap and Dual Cast both become free, so I think I'm just going to upgrade Zap. I'll play it every single time I draw it, basically no matter what, so this is just going to save us a lot of energy over the course of a shuffle. All right, we got another shop. I'm wishing, of course, that I had enough energy or enough money to remove a card here. Do I want to buy Thunder or Hologram? Go for the Eyes I like a lot as well. One of and thinking ahead also, one of the issues that the Defect has, I think, is that you don't normally have great ways to apply weakness. And I think that this, that SCS2 is balanced pretty heavily around enemies being weak most of the time for most characters. So go for the Eyes as a way to do that. But thinking ahead is also a really good way to find my cards. It cycles through our deck faster and lets us set up future turns as well. So I think I'm just going to buy that. Go grab our relic, and we'll see what that is. And we got a lizard tail. Okay, I mean, that's some nice insurance if I take a bunch of damage. That might let me take this elite fight. I was kind of planning to go to the left here. But if I take two more elite fights with the lizard tail, even if I die, then that'll be fine. So let's go ahead and smith here, and thinking ahead plus doesn't exhaust, which is pretty nice because you can cycle through quite a bit. I could also upgrade Dual Cast to cost 0. I could upgrade Adaptive Strike, or I could upgrade Focused Strike, or Charge Battery, because going up to 10 block is a lot more likely to prevent us from actually taking damage with only 1 energy spent. So I'm pretty happy to upgrade any of these 5 cards. Here, I think what I'm going to do is I will upgrade the charge battery. That way, when I cast it, I'm usually not going to take damage on the turn that I cast it, which makes it much more attractive for setting up more powerful future turns. So here we can go charge battery, focus strike, zap, and strike. We'll take 6, and then next turn I will be able to spend 4 energy. I definitely want to, thinking ahead, what am I likely to draw into? At least 1 defend, so that's pretty good because we're going to be taking 12 incoming damage. So let's, thinking ahead here, I will put dual cast on top of the deck, because this turn I want to play 2 defends, and I want to get adaptive strike going. So I'm going to take 2 damage in order to get an adaptive strike copy shuffled in. Here I can go charge battery, defend, and dual cast for more damage, and then we take 1. And I have 18 more damage coming in from the enemy, but we were actually able to kill it, and I think I only took... I don't remember my health before I went in, but I took less than 10 damage in that fight, which I feel pretty good about. Regal Pillow is an okay... an okay artifact. It can help you if you need to rest, only have to rest once instead of multiple times. Alright, I'm going to take a second charge battery. I think having 2 of these in the deck is pretty good. And then we'll go do some more events. I've done 3 hallway fights so far, so we would get a hard mode fight, and events I think are generally just superior most of the time. Alright, the Tablet of Truth. So this one, you can heal for 20, or you can lose max HP to upgrade a random card. And you can do this multiple times at an increasing cost in max HP. We have a lot of cards that we want to upgrade. I'd be very happy to hit Charge Battery, Thinking Ahead, Adaptive Strike, Focus Strike, Dual Cast. I'm okay hitting Defense, and even a Strike upgrade this early in the game is still not bad. So I'm going to Decipher here, and I'll Decipher again. And I think I'll Decipher a 3rd time, going down to 54 maximum health. One of the downsides of low max health is you heal less when you rest, but we have Regal Pillow, so that will help our healing still stay pretty good. And then, just like that, we're almost at full health. Dang, we got one of the tough hallway fights here. Definitely, I was hoping to avoid that. And I'm going to take some damage kind of no matter what I do, unless I got really lucky on my dual cast here, because I just don't have enough block to protect myself. So let's go with dual cast. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill any of these enemies, so I will play the strike here. Drawing a Sender's Bane there definitely hurts. But I guess that's why we have the Lizard Tail here. So let's start with Thinking Ahead, and we'll see what I want to draw into. And I have 19 incoming damage. I can block, and we're frail. So I can block 12 and then 18 damage if I spend all of this on it. I could also Focus Strike plus Strike to kill this enemy and only be taking 8. So let's put my weak Defend on top of the deck. I'll Focus Strike this enemy, I'll Strike it to prevent that 11 damage, and then I can block 7 of the damage, or I can play Charge Battery, but I think we'll be fine just protecting our health the most. This enemy doing 8 here, but I can kill it with 2 strikes or with Adaptive Strike, and I could also gamble, so I could strike this enemy, and then we have a 50-50 of killing it with our Lightning. I could Adaptive Strike this enemy. Oh wait, I actually can just win the fight right away. Okay, yeah. I just Adaptive Strike this one, and then our Lightning kills it. So, obviously, a better sequence there. And then Distilled Chaos, a pretty powerful potion, so I'm reasonably happy with that. Here, I think I want Cool-Headed. We have a Focus Strike, so when I have Frost in play, the Focus Strike is also going to provide us block, which is kind of nice. Glasswork is also pretty interesting, but with double Charge Battery, I don't really want to add too many more block cards to, like, pure block cards to the deck. And while glass is a good orb, I think I'd rather have cool-headed, which can also turn into a double draw later on. Alright, against this elite, I'm definitely going to take damage. I do, here's a spot where it would be nice to have gotten the glass orb, because this elite is easier with AoE damage. I think I'm going to use my Distilled Chaos to try to conserve my health here. And what do I want to put on top? I can put the good Defend on top, and then I can play Zap, Strike, Strike, Dual Cast this turn. Wait, what did I get all that block from? Did I accidentally play the Defend? No. Okay, I'm not sure where that block came from, actually. Because I got 8 block last turn. What did I do? Alright. Well, that's a little confusing, so I'm genuinely not sure what happened there. Obviously, let me know in the comments, of course. I do want to get Adaptive Strike going, so I'm going to play the Defend here. We're currently taking 6, so I could Cool-Headed and Focus Strike, which would prevent most of the damage. I could Focus Strike, so Adaptive Strike plus Focus Strike would have been 29. So, or no, I would have killed the Frog Parasite if I'd done that, so definitely a mistake there. I should have played these 2 attacks. I was playing too fast, right? Because if I had played Focus Strike plus Adaptive Strike, then I would have buffed up the Lightning to 5. So that would have been 16 damage plus 18 damage for 34, and I'd have killed it before I took a hit. So I think I will accept that I'm taking 6 damage this turn to get Adaptive Strike shuffled in, but obviously a pretty big error with my thinking there. Here I am going to go Charge Battery, because I want to get additional energy for next turn when all the Froglings are out there. And then I can go Strike, Strike. Then we might draw into a 0-cost Adaptive Strike here, which I did, in fact. So I'm going to play the Adaptive Strike. I'm going to play a Defend, and I'll play a Focus Strike on, I guess, the lowest health enemy. Honestly, a little unlucky that the Lightning hit it, because a 1 strike would have killed it. But I will say I've played this fight pretty much as badly as possible. So definitely don't emulate me here if you are looking to to win more easily. Seven health here, so I can do an Adaptive Strike and shuffle in 1 more. Do I have a win? I really need to start checking if I have the ability to win. Like if I have lethal. So if I Adaptive Strike the high health enemy and then play 1 strike, we're short of lethal, but we're very likely to kill at least one of... Well, we're very likely to kill this one and stop the Infect from getting shuffled in, and then I win the fight with just 1 strike. So that's going to be... or any damage card. So that's going to be the play. Obviously, a very bad elite fight there. Ripple Basin is kind of nice for this character. I think we will often end up not playing blocks. Do I want another Charge Battery? I think not. Synchronize I could play as well for more focus. So this could be 4 focus if I have Frost and Lightning. And it upgrades to not exhaust is the main upgrade. So I'll take the Synchronize here, and then we heal for 15. Because I have the regen potion and the lizard tail, I'm just going to upgrade here rather than rest. And I really do want to upgrade my Cool-Headed because now it draws 2 cards. And then we're going to go into the boss fight. I can't believe how badly I played that elite fight, by the way. So we'll start by using regen potion, and I'll use the dex potion as well. And here I am going to play Thinking Ahead first. I'll put the dual cast on top of the deck. And I do want to play Cool-Headed and get at least 1 Frost in play. I also want to play Adaptive Strike. If I play Adaptive Strike, I'm taking some damage this turn, even if I play a Defend. But getting the Adaptive Strikes going, I think, is going to be the most important thing. So I'll hit the low health Kin Follower, and I'll play a Defend, conserve my health just a little bit here. Obviously, that means I didn't play Cool-Headed, but this way I'm taking a little bit more damage, or I'm taking a little bit less damage immediately. Can gain 2 focus this way, but I'm going to wait until I have a Frost in play to make use of that. Here I'm going to play Charge Battery, I guess Focus Strike, and Zap, and that will get me a bunch of extra energy. Alright, we're kind of recovering from my bad play earlier. Now I can Adaptive Strike to kill this enemy. I can play Cool-Headed, drawing into another Adaptive Strike, which I can play. I can play Charge Battery, and I can play a normal strike. $18 incoming damage here, so I'm going to play Charge Battery. We have Frost for 2 more block. I can also get 4 more block if I don't play this strike. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I guess it doesn't matter, because I'm playing Defend anyways. So I'll play Dual Cast, and I will play the strike, because we're not taking damage regardless. So this turn I can play Synchronize for 4 focus. For just this turn, and then 2 more focus with Focus Strike. And then I guess let's kill the Kin Follower and play a Defend, and then we get a bunch of Frost from that. Block all the incoming damage. Now I have 15 damage incoming. I think I'm happy to keep shuffling Adaptive Strikes in. My deck is starting to fill with Adaptive Strikes, but if we draw enough 0-cost 18 damage cards, then we are going to keep... we are going to win. I think I won't play the full cost one, because I do want to block all of this damage, but playing the cheap one is fine. And then here I can play Adaptive Strike, Charge Battery, and I'm not going to dual cast, because I don't want to lose my Frost for no reason when we're not getting attacked. 12 damage incoming. Let's start with Cool-Headed, and then... one Defend is enough. I guess I do still want to cycle through to a Zap because I want to do more damage, and we'll play the free Adaptive Strikes. Then it doesn't really matter what I do. We're frail this turn, but I have enough damage there that we win. Okay, so not a clean fight, but we got there. And we actually conserved our Lizard Tail, which I was kind of expecting to lose during one of those 2 elite fights, especially given how poorly I played them. Mummified Hand is pretty nice for the Defect. There's a lot of powers that we end up with in this deck, and being able to cycle through those without it costing us other card plays is really good. We have a lot of ways to heal as well. We've got, like, every healing relic, which is interesting. Here I am. The next power I play is played an additional time. I don't currently have any powers, so I don't need Signal Boost. Consuming Shadow is another unique orb for my focus build, but Defragment is just positive focus all the time, so I'm just going to take the Defragment, I think. It's just going to make my Cool-Headed better, it's going to make all my Lightning better, so it's just always going to be good. And jumping back in for Act 2, I took 10 to reset in between the acts, just because I played the last couple fights pretty badly, so I decided to take a little bit of time just to slow down and reset my approach. Let's take a look at these options from the Ancient here. So Very Hot Cocoa, I think, is always incredible. Starting with extra energy means that you can get your setup turn done immediately. Brightest Flame, I think, is also pretty good, though my maximum health is quite low at this point because I did the other event that reduces it. And while I like Toy Box, it's a good tempo option that can really make your Act 2 very strong. I think we're just going to go with Very Hot Cocoa. I think that this is just one of the best ancient relics in the game, giving you the ability to play your opening hand entirely every single fight. Is just amazing. All right, let's take a look at our options here. So I have 185, so I could go for this shop. And then we would be doing one hallway fight. We only get 2 elites that way, and I kind of like doing more than 2 elite fights most of the time. I could go to the left here, so I could go fight, event, if I go down this side. There's no guaranteed shop in that direction, is the big downside. I could also do this path. It does mean I get, because the hard pool hallway fights trigger after your first 2 fights in Acts 2 and 3, so this fight would be a hard fight. And I don't really want to do that. I feel like my deck is pretty good, but I'd prefer not to take hard fights right away. So the question is, do I want to go for this shop, or do I want to go down the left? And because if I do this shop, I can get a maximum of 2 elites. But I really do like getting to hit the shop there. I could also, another option is to go along this path, take this elite fight and 2 campfires, and then we get to go this way, take a shop, and then 1 more elite fight. I actually like that quite a bit. So I'm going to go to the right here, and I'll kind of make my decision as to which direction to turn when we see exactly what's happening. Now, obviously here we have 7 energy to start with, so let's start with Cool-Headed. And I don't have any particular reason not to change the ordering of playing my cards. Play Charge Battery. Do I want to keep Synchronize in the deck? I would be able to deal extra damage with my Lightning this turn, but I don't know that there's any particular... and I would also prevent taking 1 damage if I cast Synchronize. No, we're taking 0 damage anyways. So I think I'm going to keep Synchronize in the deck. I think it's going to be better later on. So I'll just chip away at this exoskeleton here. Then we'll take 8. This turn, I have Adaptive Strike. Now, Adaptive Strike only hits for 9 against these enemies. So let's go with Focus Strike, and I'll play a Dual Cast for 9 damage to each of these enemies. I'll play Defend, and that should be enough block. $10 incoming damage this turn, so I'll always be playing Zap. I'm going to play Thinking Ahead. I played Zap first because I wouldn't mind redrawing Zap. I think that would be totally fine. I'm going to put, so will I be able to play Adaptive Strike this turn? We have 10 damage incoming, so Charge Battery plus Adaptive Strike is pretty reasonable. So let's put the good Defend on top of the deck, and then I can go ahead and do this. We'll hit this one for 9 so that it only has 9 health remaining, and we can potentially one-shot it. And then this turn, we're always playing Zap. I'm going to play Strike to clear that enemy. Then it doesn't really matter what I do with the rest of my cards here. And then this turn, we can go Focus Strike, Strike, and win the fight. Okay, so clean fight there. +2 Strength is better than it often is, I think, for this deck. Because we're actually doing more attacking than I usually do on the Defect. So that may be one of the solutions, is just keep more attacks in the deck and rely less on orbs. Leap is pretty good. I already talked about how I like that quite a bit. Now, I do have 2 upgraded Defends, including one with Nimble, and I have 2 Charge Batteries, and Cool-Headed. So I've added a lot of block cards to the deck already. So I don't know if I need Leap, Charge Battery, or Compact. We don't have any way to create statuses, so Compact is a lot less useful here. So I'm just gonna skip this card reward, I think. Remove 2 strikes, add Ultimate Strike, or remove 2 defends, add Ultimate Defend. I love the Amalgamator event. Not only does it give you a very good card, in the form of one of the ultimate cards, it also removes 2 bad cards from the deck. So I could combine my 2 unupgraded defends, but I think I'm going to combine for Ultimate Strike, because the fewer strikes I have in the deck, the better. And Ultimate Strike is actually a relevant attacking card. Alright, so then on this setup, I had decided I was going to the left and then back to the right. So we're going to go take this hallway fight here. The Tunneler fight can be pretty tough because it does, it can be hard to break all of its shield at once. So I'm always going to do this. Do I want to keep Synchronize in the deck or not? Because this does exhaust. I think, is the extra 2 damage worth exhausting Synchronize? I think not. So I'm just going to keep the Synchronize there. Here I can go just all of my damaging cards. I mean, I guess we just get to play everything. Then this enemy is going to put up a bunch of shielding. I didn't get to charge battery or do anything along those lines this turn. I do have Focused Strike as an option to potentially draw into. So if I play Cool-Headed or Thinking Ahead, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Cool-Headed. It's 3 block right away with my Defragment. And then I'm going to play Thinking Ahead, and then I can make a decision as to what I need in order to block. So with Defend and Charge Battery, that would be 20 block. With Defend, that would be 21 block. So I'd block almost all the incoming damage. With Focused Strike, Zap, and Dual Cast, that would be +2 focus, means that does 6. So I think that actually does it, right? Focus Strike, Zap, and Dual Cast will do 32 damage this turn. Let's go Focus Strike down to 21, play Zap, play Dual Cast, and yeah, that stuns the enemy. So cleaner sequencing from me there than in some previous fights, at least. Skim Plus has got to be great. Being able to draw this many cards is good. Compile Driver is also pretty good. We only have 2 unique orbs in the deck right now, but maybe we'll get a third later. But just 1 energy draw 4 is so good, especially with Very Hot Cocoa letting us get really explosive first turns if I happen to get Skim in my opening hand. Add 2 Enlightenment to the deck. I think I don't love Enlightenment as a card, so I'm just going to go with Emotional Awareness, so we'll get rid of our last strike. And that way, we will still have enough money when we get to this shop here that we can still remove another card or buy a card if it's relevant. And then I'm going to go to the Campfire. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my Defragment, probably. There's a lot of cards I want to upgrade again. Dual Cast, of course, costing 0 is good. Synchronize being... What's the upgrade for Synchronize? It just doesn't exhaust. And the upgrade for Thinking Ahead is also doesn't exhaust. I think I'll upgrade Defragment. I think that's going to be the most powerful upgrade. And then Thinking Ahead after that. I'm feeling fairly confident that I can take an Elite fight. So I'll take the Elite instead of the event here. 22 damage incoming this turn. So let's go with Thinking Ahead. I will put... So I have a Charge Battery, Defend, that's 18, and then 1 more Defend. So I'll put Synchronize on top of the deck. Have to put Synchronize on top of the deck, then I can play all my defensive cards and play Adaptive Strike. And at the same time, keep Ascender's Bane so that we can disintegrate it. This turn, I can play Skim. So I'm always playing Zap. We have not enough blocks, so I'm going to start with Skim, drawing 4 cards, trying to draw into some block card. We did draw into Cool-Headed, which combined with Defragment and Focused Strike or Synchronize is a lot of block. So I'll play the Cool-Headed. I'm going to play Synchronize, I think. So that's going to be 6 block here, and then Charge Battery, and that'll block for 13. Or I could play Defend and block for 16. Yeah, let's just play the Defend. There's probably a way I could have played that, maybe, where I got Defragment into play as well, which I really do want to do. Oh, I was not counting the block from the actual Frost Orb. So that's the mistake that I made there. Let's play Adaptive Strike. We gain an energy off of that because of the Vital Spark on the Infested Prism. And then I'll start with Skim. And this is where not being able to get the enemies weakened, I think, is one of the real challenges for the Defect, is that we have to block 27 whole damage. I will play Defragment, and I'll play, because we get... Oh, I have been forgetting the Mummified Hand. So if I'd played Defragment on that last turn, I would have been able to reduce the cost of a card to 0. Because now I can play Defend for free. And then I'll play Cool-Headed and Zap. And then I've got 8 more blocks, so that's 16 total block. And for 27 damage, so I can go up to 26 block if I played the Defend. Which I guess I will. Have I attacked the enemy this turn? I did. I played Adaptive Strike. I do wish that the Vital Spark showed whether it had activated. On a given turn. It should change. It should, like, gray out after you activate it. So here I'm going to Focus Strike. And I'll go with Adaptive Strike to shuffle 1 more in. Or do I want to play Charge Battery? I think I will Adaptive Strike. I do need to do damage to the enemy. And... oh, right. I gained an energy there. I had 4. So I can still play Charge Battery. I don't need to dual cast, of course, because it's just a Frost Orb we'd be dual casting. 26 damage coming in this turn. So let's start with Adaptive Strike. I can just play everything this turn, so no need to calculate. We're just getting enough block. And then here, I'm going to go Adaptive Strike, gaining an extra energy. I'll start with Cool-Headed to cycle through my orbs here. Adaptive Strike again. I guess I can Skim, because I could draw into Focused Strike before I play Zap. And I've already used Vital Spark. So let's go Zap, Dual Cast, and then Adaptive Strike wins the fight. Okay. Centennial Puzzle, that's pretty nice, of course, because we're often going to take some chip damage in fights, and that's going to help us minimize that by drawing into our good cards quickly. Go for the Eyes is an amazing find. I already talked about how I really like this card, and finding an upgraded one that applies 2 weak is awesome, so I'm going to pick that up for sure. We have plenty of health here. We still have a Lizard Tail and a bunch of healing relics. So I'm going to go to the campfire, and I'm going to remove the exhaust from thinking ahead. I'm always happy to redraw into this card. And then we'll see what our relic has. It's Nunchaku. Actually better for this deck than it is for a lot of decks that I build with this character. Though we have removed most of our attacks, we're still doing some attacks, so it might give us some energy occasionally. Then just checking that I don't want to branch off to the left, and I still don't, so I'm going to go to the right here. So here we can apply 2 weakness to this enemy. I'm going to play Skim, and I don't need to synchronize. I'll play Charge Battery. I'll Adaptive Strike, I guess the lower health one. I'll dual cast here. And I'll leave Synchronize in the deck for now. Alright, so I do have the 2 Toxics currently, and 13 incoming damage. Let's start with thinking ahead. And I'll put 1 of the Toxics back on top, I think. That will mean I have to deal with 3 Toxics next turn, though. But, let's see. So this turn I'm going to play Charge Battery and Defend. And that'll be enough block that I could either take 0 or 1 damage, depending on which I put back. And I do want to deal with at least 1 of the Toxics. It is just take 5 damage, so you can block all of the incoming damage. And my top 2 cards are Zap and Cool-Headed as well. So, this is, again, a fairly interesting spot. I'm going to have 4 energy next turn, because I'm always playing Charge Battery. I think I can afford to put the Toxic on top. And then I'll play Charge Battery. I'll play Defend here. So that's enough block. And then I can play the Toxic, and I'll get Defragment set up, and then we can play a Defend for free as well. Oh, and I had the Ripple Basin for 4 more block. Oh, I think that's where the block came from on the turn. It was a mystery. Well, mystery solved many, many turns later. So we'll weaken this enemy. I'll play Cool-Headed. I will play Thinking Ahead, and I'm going to put one of the Toxics back. And then with double Adaptive Strike, I could kill these enemies and block all the damage because I have a Zap. But I do have 2 Toxics coming in. So I'm always going to do this. It's got 14 health left. I'm always doing this. If I play Charge Battery, so I could Adaptive Strike and kill this enemy. Then I could play 1 Toxic, and we would take 5 total. I could play 2 Toxics and play Charge Battery, and then I would have 14 block for 15 incoming damage, and I'd have removed 2 Toxics from the deck, so I think that seems better. Take 1, and we trigger Centennial Puzzle, which is pretty nice as well. This turn, I can go Focus Strike on this enemy, clearing it. I can get the Toxic out of my deck. I can play Ultimate Strike, and I guess I do want to play Synchronize here just for a little more damage, and because I don't know that I actually want to redraw Synchronize, and then I'll play Ultimate Strike over Charge Battery. Playing Charge Battery there would have been fine as well to make this turn a little easier, but I felt like we would be fine on this turn kind of regardless of what I do. I'm going to play the Cool-Headed to try to draw into one of my Adaptive Strikes. I didn't, but with Focused Strike, I can hit this enemy, and then I can play a Defend, and we'll kill it with the Lightnings. Okay, so this turn, I don't love any of these right now. Subroutine is good if you have a more power-focused Defect deck, but currently I don't. I only have 1 power in the deck. So I think I'm probably skipping on all of these. I mean, the nice thing about Subroutine in this deck is that it's energy positive with the Mummified Hand. So I think I can probably afford to take it, and then if I do end up with more powers in the deck, it's also pretty good. And then I'll upgrade it to make it free, because basically it's going to be a 0-cost card that gives me +1 energy, or potentially more if I have more expensive cards most of the time. This turn, I'm going to start with Skim, because of course I want to draw into my more powerful cards. I'll go for the Eyes, because I'm always going to play that. I'm going to play Thinking Ahead as well. And what do I want to put on top? I need to play Adaptive Strike, that's 2. Subroutine is going to be +1. So let's put the Dual Cast on top. I don't think I'm going to play that this turn. So we're always playing Zap. I want to play as many cards that aren't Adaptive Strike as possible before I play Subroutine, so that I have the maximum chance of the Mummified Hand giving me 2 energy. So I'm always playing Charge Battery. I guess I could have Ultimate Struck before I did the Weakness as well for a little more damage to the enemy. I'll play the Cool-Headed here. I'll play Focus Strike. It also didn't matter what I put on top because I was going to redraw with Cool-Headed. Play Dual Cast, play Subroutine, and play Adaptive Strike Defend. Okay, so got to play everything in the deck here. This turn, I'll go Charge Battery and Defend, and I'll leave Synchronize in the deck because the block doesn't matter. $19 damage incoming this turn, and Defragment is free to play, so we're just playing everything in the deck, or in the hand. And I'm going to take a fair amount of damage, but that will draw me into some more cards. This turn, I can now go for the Eyes, Adaptive Strike, I can Ultimate Strike, I can do Thinking Ahead, trying to draw into just more focus, I think is basically the only thing we care about. Because I can Dual Cast for 16 damage, or for 20 damage, and then that's 5 more damage off of the Lightning. So if I draw Zap, then I kill the enemy here, but that's not possible. Because I need 1 for casting Dual Cast, I need 1 for playing Skim if I want to draw a card. So I'm just going to play Charge Battery and Dual Cast here. And then this turn, we just Adaptive Strike and kill it. Do I want Echo Form? I feel like this is part of how I get in trouble on the Defect so often, is taking Echo Form, which is really expensive. But this deck is actually pretty good for it. We have very hot cocoa. We have ways to make our powers free. So I think I will take the Echo Form here. And I'll just accept that sometimes I'm just going to let it etherealize. In this shop, I could remove, I could play get another Thinking Ahead. That's always going to be good. Loop is an okay power, and again, I'm incentivized to get powers with Mummified Hand, but I think that something I really want to focus on in this run is not taking just too many powers, because I often end up doing that and then just not being able to block enough damage. So I think I'm going to pass on that, and I think what I will do here is just remove one of my weak defends, because a 5 block card is just not that exciting at this point. I could buy any of these cards as well, so I could get Boost Away if I want a 0-cost block. I could get another Charge Battery, though with 2 already in the deck, I don't think I need a third. Maybe I will buy the Loop, and this is because I have Mummified Hand, and it can go well with my Cool-Headed, and I think that'll be it. And then we're going to go fight the Elite here. Alright, so this is a spot where Echo Form is fine, because we drew it in our very hot Cocoa turn. Let's start with Cool-Headed, and I'll play Zap. I can play Loop, which will make a card free, so I could make the Echo Form free. I could guarantee it by playing my other 3 cards first. Let's just do that, and then I don't have to think about the math. And then I'm going to take some damage this turn, but that's also okay. This turn, I am going to go for the eyes, the enemy that it will... Oh, no. Echo Form. I should not have played Go for the Eyes there, though it did weaken, but I could have double played, like, Fragment or something. But I instantly forgot that I had played Echo Form. Really funny. Or I could have double synchronized for 8 focus this turn. So obviously a lot of better plays there. I will play Synchronize here anyways. I'm going to play Thinking Ahead and try to draw into something a little more exciting. I don't want the Skim this turn, because I do need to play all of my other cards. I'll play Charge Battery and Defend. I'll play Subroutine, which will give me an energy when I play Defragment and make something else free. And then we can play Defend, Defragment, and Focused Strike. And do I Focus Strike the high health or the low health enemy this turn? So I could kill one of them. We're currently taking 24 incoming damage, so I have enough block. So I'm going to hit the high health one. You'd want to focus on killing these at roughly the same time, since they come back on a 1-turn delay after you kill them. This turn, I have 4 energy, and I have at least 8 block to block 21, 27 incoming damage. Now, let's actually focus on playing the right card with Echo Form this turn. So I could draw 8 cards with Skim. Only 6, because it would we'd hit our maximum number of cards in hand. I could double cast Charge Battery or Adaptive Strike. I think I'll double cast Charge Battery. That way I don't have to worry about any block for the rest of the turn, because we have 27 incoming damage, 28 block. And then I can play Skim, we can play Zap, I can play a Focused Strike on the high health enemy, and an an Ultimate Strike on the high health enemy. And we'll let my orbs do their thing. This turn, again, I want to play the correct card. So I could Charge Battery twice, I could Cool-Headed twice, and cycle through some orbs. I think that makes sense, because that way I'm going to do at least one Lightning Orb here. And then I'll play Zap, and we'll randomly damage something. I have Focus Strike for 8 damage, so let's go for the eyes, the 3 health enemy, and kill it. Focus Strike the high health enemy. And I'll play Thinking Ahead, drawing into Ultimate Strike and Adaptive Strike, which we win the fight with. Okay, cool. I'm going to get rid of the Strength Potion for the Swift Potion. I'd much rather have that. Permafrost is great for this deck, because we are always going to be playing a power on the first turn, basically. Hotfix, I think, is also quite good. Being able to boost my energy for 0, or my focus for 0 energy is pretty nice. And we do have some orbs that care about focus. So I'll take the Hotfix here, and then I will Smith. We have plenty of health. I could make Echo Form not Ethereal. I could make Loop Double Trigger. I could upgrade my Charge Battery, always going to be good. I think I'm going to make Dual Cast Free or Synchronize Not Exhaust. No, I think what I'm going to do is just upgrade Charge Battery. I just want to make sure I have enough block in the deck that we're able to do reasonable amounts of blocking. Alright, drawing Echo Form on the first turn against this enemy is nice when we have our high energy. So I'll play Echo Form. I'm going to use a Swift Potion because right now I'm wasting a lot of energy on the first turn. So obviously I want to use a Swift Potion here. This would be a turn where Synchronize not having Exhaust would have been pretty good. I do think I want at least one Adaptive Strike in the deck. Though it's probably pretty close to time to stop shuffling Adaptive Strikes in. Forever. So the Insatiable enemy is going to shuffle these Frantic Escapes into my deck, and it will kill me if I don't use those often enough or kill it before the countdown goes. Let's play double Defragment this turn, because that's just going to be so much focus for the rest of the fight. So with Echo Form, I'm going to play Defragment twice. Play Charge Battery, we can play Subroutine, and Zap Defend. Deal 14 to the enemy. 28 incoming damage. I do kind of... so I could double cast Frantic Escape with Echo Form to put up the counter by 2. I don't think I need to do that. I could double cast Charge Battery. Because right now I'm taking quite a bit of damage just from its attack. So that would just be 20 block. I could also double cast Loop, because double casting powers continues to give me value in future turns. I don't think I need to double cast the Loop, so I'm going to prevent the most damage by playing that. I'll play Loop here, play Thinking Ahead, and I'll put one of the Frantic Escapes on top, and then play the other one, play Ultimate Strike, and play Defend to try to block the most damage here. Draw a bunch of cards with my Centennial Puzzle. This turn, I can play Cool-Headed to start with, and we'll draw a couple more cards and create 2 Frost Orbs, which I want to start cycling through. I can then play Charge Battery, and how many Adaptive Strikes do I want in the deck? I don't want to play too many more of these, because they eventually become pretty weak, but I think I can put one more in. I'll play a Dual Cast, and then I'll play double Frantic Escape, just to start chaining through those. Here, I could double Hotfix, I could double Zap. I think I could double Focus Strike as well, which would give me basically infinite block. I think double Zap is going to be better, though. I want to index back into Lightning Orbs. And then I have enough block this turn, so... well, I guess I'm just playing everything, kind of no matter what. I have managed to Frantic Escape enough that I am not taking that much damage. I'm going to double Go for the Eyes this turn, I think. Because 4 turns... no, we're going to end the fight before 4 turns of weakness, so let's double Synchronize. Because that's 8 focus this turn. So not only does that instantly get me enough block, it also gets me 30 damage. Then I can... Go for the Eyes for just 2 turns of weakness, that's fine. I'll play Ultimate Strike, Frantic Escape. This turn, I could double Thinking Ahead, and that would be basically cycling through a couple more cards. I could also double Charge Battery, but I think I'd rather Thinking Ahead twice. Doesn't matter what I put back, because I'm drawing into it immediately. And then don't need this defend, so I'll put it back on top anyways. Here, I'll go with a zap and a charge battery. Now I have enough block, so I can play one of these frantic escapes. Do 21 damage. And then this turn, double adaptive strike is probably enough damage. Because we'll do 21 this turn, and then we should kill the enemy next turn. Oh, no, I have the ultimate strike in hand as well. So it dies to the orbs. Alright, so a pretty clean boss fight there. We still have our lizard tail, which is nice. Okay, so I do have a lot of effects that care about having multiple orb types. So Rainbow immediately sets those up. Meteor Strike is really good if I draw it on my opening turn and can play it immediately with the Coco. Or if I have double cast a charge battery and can play it. But I think I'm just going to take the Rainbow here. Being able to cycle through a lot of orbs with the amount of focus that we have in the deck feels pretty good overall. And then let's go to Act 3. And as we enter Act 3, let's see... Orbs are not weapons! What Tanks has for us. Transform up to 6 cards into Maul. So I actually like the claws a reasonable amount if you have a bunch of junk still in your deck. So I could transform one of my defends, but we've removed a lot of the junk from this deck already, so I don't think we need claws. I could get Instinct and decrease the cost of my attacks by 1. So, decreasing Adaptive Strike saves us in energy. Decreasing Focus Strike is really good. Do I have any other attacks in the deck? I have Go for the Eyes, which is already free. So I think that's not going to do anything because we're not actually getting the full value of the Tri-Boomerang. Had to pause there once again to protect you from the almighty dad sneeze. Alright, but I think we're just going to take Whistle here, because this is just a very powerful card. It basically, on any turn where you can make it free, which we can with Mummified Hand, or where we have more than 3 energy, it's basically turn positive. We're going to time walk the enemy while doing 33 damage and getting to do other stuff. And at worst, it's just 33 damage for free, because the enemy's not going to do anything on their turn when you stun them, so it's effectively a 0-cost 33 damage card a lot of the time. So Whistle is just a very good card overall. Let's look at our pathing here. So I have 140 gold. I could go to one of these shops early. I believe we've done 2 card removals. So I should have 150 and be able to do another card removal if I want. I could also just do 3 events and then a campfire and then a chest and then an elite and a shop and then 3 more events. I actually really like this path. I think this is a very clean path that minimizes hallway fights, which I want to take as few as possible in Act 3, typically, because they're very hard for very little reward. Gets us a shop near the end of the run, so we'll be able to maximize the value of that, and gets us the option of 3 elites if we want it. So yeah, let's go to the left here. I think that's a very good path. Some good RNG there. Here, we have 7 energy this turn, so let's start with drawing a card. So I'll draw with Cool-Headed. I'll play Thinking Ahead as well, and then what do I want back on top? I'm going to play Defragment this turn. I can play everything in my hand, because we're going to be able to make cards free. So, and I'm going to kill one of the enemies with Whistle. And so let's just put the defend back on top. And then this turn, I'm going to go Whistle, killing the 31 health enemy. Just getting that out of the fight entirely. 14 damage incoming, but of course I can... I have additional block with my Frost Orb. And we get 6 block from the Permafrost, which I hadn't even taken into account. And then... I can play everything here. Do I want to synchronize this turn? For just a little bit of extra damage. The block isn't that relevant. I think I don't need to synchronize this turn. Because synchronize, I still haven't removed the exhaust from it. 14 damage incoming this turn, and we only have 3 energy. Let's start with a skim. and I could dual cast. I could go for the eyes on the enemy that is attacking. I guess I'm always going to be doing that. And then Adaptive Strike would just kill it. Is there a better option? Like, dual cast is going to be 20 damage spread across these two enemies. I could Rainbow, which would cycle through my Lightning Charge. Let's just Adaptive Strike and kill the enemy. 14 damage incoming this turn, but I can just play out my hand here. And then we should be able to win just by cycling through my orbs. Alright, and then we've got some Block Potion, and I do want another Cool-Headed. I think that Cool-Headed is, because it's going to draw multiple cards when I upgrade it, that's definitely a card that I want to add more of to the deck. Okay, so I could remove Exhaust from... Let's see, what cards exhaust that I can't remove it by upgrading? I could remove Exhaust from Whistle. That's pretty powerful. Now, it does mean that I'm adding a Decay to the deck, and I don't really love adding a Decay. We do have one shop to go for. By the way, I think people love this event way more than they should. Adding a Decay to your deck is a really big penalty, because even if you can then subsequently remove it, you also are not removing another bad card. So it really does make your deck significantly worse. But is it worth it to be able to maybe cast multiple whistles in a fight? I don't think so. One whistle is just going to be enough, so I'm just going to avoid making my deck weaker. Here, I'm going to start with, well, I guess it doesn't really matter what I do, because we don't have any card draw. So we'll play our charge batteries, we'll go for the eyes, weakening the high damage enemy. And I will set up the subroutine, even though we're wasting the energy. I'll keep Synchronize in the deck, though. I really do want to remove Exhaust from that, because currently it's giving me some difficulty that I keep having to not play it. I have no block this turn at all. That is unlucky. I have 5 energy. I can arrange to make all of my cards, and I have subroutine. So I can play all of my cards this turn for sure. So let's start with an Ultimate Strike. And then I'll play Defragment. It doesn't matter what it hits. It's gonna make enough stuff free regardless. And then we'll Adaptive Strike this high health enemy, and I'll play Rainbow as well. And then I have 4 block to block 10, 16 incoming damage, so let's use my block potion, because it's preventing the full 12 damage. This is kind of the challenge that I do often run into on the Defect. I think I've done a better job of avoiding it in this run than I usually do. But in the late game, it often feels like you just don't have the block to prevent yourself from taking damage. Let's zap, and that kills that enemy, and then I can do Thinking Ahead. I'll put a Defend back on top. I'll play a Hotfix, and I'll play another Cool-Headed, just cycling through cards, because I don't actually really want to draw the Defend. And is there anything I could play if I play Skim here? Not really, so kind of bad sequencing that turn as well, I think. I'm sure I could have drawn into more powerful plays. Let's play Charge Battery. Double casting Adaptive Strike would also have just won the fight this turn. So again, bad sequencing. It doesn't matter, we're not going to take any damage anyways, but obviously I should be paying more attention here. Also, playing that last attack was kind of nice, because it set my Nunchaku to 9, so we'll be able to trigger it immediately in the next fight. I'm not going to pretend that I had thought of that before I played it, but it was the correct play for that reason. Do I have enough powers to make Storm good? We have currently in the deck just the 1, 2, 3 powers. No, we have Defragment as well. And Storm, an upgraded Storm is very good if you can channel through a bunch of powers. Another Charge Battery, I think, is also kind of reasonable. It would just increase the density of blocking cards in my deck a pretty good amount. But let's go for the Storm. I think that's going to help us win the fights a little faster. So I could get a random uncommon potion or 2 foul potions, which I could then sell for 200 gold at the shop. But I don't need that much gold at the shop, so let's just take the uncommon potion, and I'll discard my fire potion to get a better potion here. This turn, I have enough block coming in, so I'll play Charge Battery. I want some more card draw in the deck, because I'm consistently not getting enough on the first turn to actually use my Very Hot Cocoa effectively. I could have used my Clarity Extract or Gambler's Brew there, but I think I can save them. Here, I'm going to start with the Cool-Headed. I will play Focused Strike. I'll play Thinking Ahead. Whistle doesn't work on this enemy, I believe, because I actually don't know if Artifact prevents stun. I might play it just for science, because it's just adding burns to my hand this turn anyways. So I'm just gonna... This I don't think is the correct play, but I do want to do a little bit of science this turn, and we'll try to play the Whistle here. I'm gonna put... what do I want on top of the deck? I have Loop, which will give me a free card and an energy back. So that's energy positive. I guess I'll put Ultimate Strike back on top. Because I can get a 50-50 of making Whistle free if I play the Loop. If I play Charge Battery before I play Loop. And either way, I'll be able to play Whistle here. So if I Whistle... it stuns the enemy even through the artifact. So that's actually really good to know. And then I'll play that. I'll play Go for the Eyes, which no longer stuns, and we'll play Ultimate Strike. This turn, I have Defragment and Storm, which can make my stuff free. So I'll play Defragment, I'll play Storm, which I should have done in the other order. Usually it's right to just play Defragment first, but that was obviously terrible ordering by me. 4 burns in the deck now. So I don't have another power to make Echo Form free, so I'm basically just playing Echo Form this turn. So I can play Echo Form, it'll make something else free, and give me an energy back, actually. So I can play all of my other cards here. Let's play Synchronize, because we're getting a lot of damage off of it. I don't think I want to play the... I'm happy to play Adaptive Strike and shuffle 1 in. If I play Dual Cast, it's just doing some more block that doesn't matter, so I'll pass on playing Dual Cast this turn. The sequencing for this character is always really complicated, and that's definitely something that I just consistently mess up. Alright, so Echo Form, I could double Echo Form Cool-Headed, Charge Battery, or Thinking Ahead. I think on this turn, given I have 40 incoming damage, I'm going to Echo Form Charge Battery. I'll play Thinking Ahead here. I'll put Ultimate Strike back on top. I'll play Cool-Headed. And then I could play another Cool-Headed. We've got 4 block incoming, so if I just play Defend, then I block all the incoming damage. 4 more burns getting added to the deck, so I do need to kill the enemy relatively quickly. Let's start with Hotfix and Focused Strike, and then I'll play Zap, cycling through with my now increased damage. Four more burns coming in, and this turn I can double Adaptive Strike, and then I can still play the rest of my cards. And then this turn I can double Ultimate Strike and kill the enemy here. Okay, cool. 32 gold, great. Vambrace, this is pretty nice. It's going to help out a lot with the early turns and just not taking any chip damage from those. Do I want another hotfix? Or I could take Scrape. I currently have a decent number of zeros in the deck, right? I've got Subroutine, Hotfix, and Thinking Ahead and Zap. So this is usually going to draw into like one card. Or I could take another hotfix. I think I'm just going to pass on all of these. This is a spot where taking the upgraded hotfix might be the right play, but keeping my deck thin, I think, matters more. Upgraded Whistle is just additional damage, which I don't care that much about on that card. Upgraded Rainbow doesn't exhaust. Upgraded Synchronize doesn't exhaust. Upgraded Cool-Headed draws multiple cards. So I think it's either Synchronize or Cool-Headed that I'm upgrading. I think Synchronize exhausting has been annoying enough times that I'm going to upgrade it. Then we'll go grab our Relic here, and Venerable Tea-Set doesn't matter as much because we have the Very Hot Cocoa, but I guess 11 energy is better than just the... or I guess 9 energy is better than 7. So this turn I could just play Whistle, and we just get a lot of value out of that. So let's start with Cool-Headed. I can go for the Eyes the enemy. I can play Storm and then Defragment in the right order this time. And then I can Whistle and play Synchronize. And I don't need to dual cast because I would be just deleting my Frost Orb, which obviously I would prefer to keep. This turn I can... we'll start with Skim. Because I have my subroutine in hand, so we will be able to play basically everything that I draw. Because subroutine is going to give me a bunch of energy here by making a lot of cards free. Let's play Loop as well, and we'll discount something else. I would have preferred to discount my charge batteries rather than my defend. But if I play a charge battery, and I can play Focused Strike as well, we have enough block, and that also increases my focus for a bunch more damage to the Soul Nexus enemy. $18 incoming damage this turn. Let's start with a Thinking Ahead, and we'll see what we draw into. I'm not going to be able to block all of the damage this turn, most likely. Is there a way that I can kill the enemy this turn, like with Adaptive Strike? It doesn't matter what I put on top of the deck, because I'm going to try to play everything. Because I can go Hotfix, Cool-Headed, and then Echo Form will discount something and give me an energy back. Although if I draw into... Because I'm drawing into Defend. If I discount the Defend after playing Echo Form, we will not have enough to play Adaptive Strike. If I care about that. I could also play my Gambler's Brew or my Clarity Extract this turn. Let's start with Cool-Headed anyways. And that way I've got 6 block incoming and then 5 more from Defend, potentially. I think I'm okay just taking a little bit of damage this turn. And then we can play everything here. There might have been a way I could avoid taking that 7 as well and just kill the enemy this turn, either with a potion or with different sequencing. Here, I'm going to... Doesn't really matter what I do. I can just play some cards and the enemy will die. Alright, Gambling Chip is a nice one. That's really good with the Very Hot Cocoa, because it means I can dig for my expensive cards and my card draw. Chill Plus I like a lot. Being able to channel Frost is really nice, but given that I have so much synergy with powers, maybe I'm supposed to take White Noise. There's some really good powers that you can get off of White Noise, so let's pick that up. I'll go to the shop here. Heal back to full, so the damage I took actually didn't matter at all. Let's see. I could take the Lava Lamp. That would have been pretty nice earlier. At this point, I don't think it really matters. Eternal Armor's kind of interesting for this character. It's very expensive, but we have a lot of ways to discount our cards, and it's a lot of blocks, so it can help me in longer fights. I think I'm always just going to remove the cheap defend, or the bad defend, though. And then, do I want any of these other cards? Purity could help me remove some debuffs. And the test subject can put wounds into your deck, so Purity can help with that. And since it's retain, it doesn't cost you that much. Bulk up, of course, giving you strength and dexterity is good. Hologram could let me replay... I don't know. Not that much that's that exciting, honestly. I think I don't really want to add any of these cards to my deck, so I'm just gonna pass. Kind of a bad way to spend my money there. Alright, well, I guess I would rather lose the Gambler's Brew than the Clarity Extract. And we're probably not taking this card no matter what it is. Well, Rocket Punch drawing 2 cards is not bad. Null giving us 3 weakness and channeling dark. So actually, maybe I am taking one of these cards. I didn't think I was interested in adding attacks to my deck, but FTL, of course, just cycles, so it's always going to be pretty reasonable. Null applying weakness is something that we don't have easily in this deck, and 3 turns of weakness is a lot. And then Rocket Punch drawing, so it replaces itself, isn't bad, but I think I'm going to take the Null here. I don't need another elite fight. I think I'd rather just take the events and get to the fight at the end. We'll lose 11 HP because we're going to gain it back most likely anyways. And hey, we got our relic even though we skipped the elite fight. Oddly Smooth Stone, a very nice one, just helping us with some block. And then here we are with another fight. Okay, so what do I want to replace? I want to replace at least these 3. Go for the Eyes isn't bad to have, but it is free to cast. So maybe I'll keep Charge Battery and I'll replace everything else here, because I'm digging for card draw cards in my opening hand, or expensive cards like the Whistle. Let's start with thinking ahead here. On top of my deck, I want to put Synchronize, because I'm going to play Whistle this turn. And so I'll play Whistle, I'll play Charge Battery, I'll play Focus Strike, and I guess it's worth it playing 1 Adaptive Strike. I could also have removed Adaptive Strike over Defend from the deck, because it's pretty bad for us right now. This turn, I need to start with Skim, because I don't currently have a way to block any damage. So I'll do that. I think I'm okay having the Echo Form get removed from the deck. I'm always playing the Zap. I want to play Null plus Defend, or rather Null plus Charge Battery, because that will block all the incoming damage and get me a Charge Battery setup. I can play Storm for free, most likely, because it will discount something good most of the time. So let's play Storm here. It discounts Echo Form, which is actually really nice, because now it's also not going to disintegrate. And then instead of playing Null this turn, I can play... well, I get to play Synchronize for free as well. Instead of playing Null this turn, I could also play Charge Battery Defend. Oh no, I've got 6 block already. So let's play Charge Battery and Ultimate Strike. Doesn't mean I didn't get to play Null that turn, but I think that's fine. This turn, I'm going to start with Defragment. Gain some focus and cycle through my orbs, gaining a bunch of focus. And also, I actually discount 2 things, because we double cast that. Let's draw some cards here. And then I'll play Hotfix. And then I'm going to draw another card, cycling through the deck a bit. Play Go for the Eyes. I'll play Loop. It'll discount my cards. And I'll play the Rainbow to cycle through some more cards again. Probably could have found a way to do 2 more damage there as well, not that it mattered. I do really like Tempest. I also like Thunder for faster kills, because we're evoking both of these. Tempest on the first turn can often be like a one-shot kill with the Very Hot Cocoa and the Venerable Tea Set. That's just a lot of damage. But I think I'm just going to take the Thunder just to make the last fights a little bit faster. And then we'll Smith, and I will upgrade... I could upgrade White Noise, that makes it free. I could upgrade Loop, which is just more value over time. I think I'm going to upgrade the Cool-Headed just to draw into more cards. So this enemy gets stronger every time I play a skill. I definitely want to keep Null in hand. I want to keep the card draw and Charge Battery in hand. I think we can get rid of Focus Strike and Loop and try to draw into more card draw. Echo Form also really good. I'm also going to use my Clarity Potion. This is the hardest stage for the test subject because it gets stronger every time you play a skill. So, and this is a very skill-heavy deck. In terms of, I guess both in terms of the card type and in terms of it's hard to play. So let's start by playing Skim. I'll draw some cards here. I was looking for more cheap powers, which we didn't find. Let's play the Cool-Headed as well. Then I'm going to play White Noise, which will add a power to my hand. And yeah, I'll play Trash to Treasure. It doesn't really do anything for us currently, but it just gets a power into play. Oh, it happened to hit Echo Form. That's a pretty lucky discount, actually. So I'll play the Echo Form. I'll always play Charge Battery. I'm going to always play Null. This turn, I'm also going to play... I'm going to play Synchronize while I have 3 different orbs. And then I'll play Cool-Headed, drawing into some more cards to see if there's anything else that I want to play this turn. I'll play... Do I want a Rainbow or do I want a Charge Battery? Rainbow is going to cycle through a bunch of damage, so I think it's worth it just to play the Rainbow here. And then I can let the Ascender's Bane time out. This turn, I can play a bunch of my cards that give us extra damage. So we're going to start with Storm. We'll discount something. And Double Storm is pretty good here. I'll play Subroutine as well, and that's going to cycle through a ton of lightning charges. Then I kind of want to keep Whistle in the deck for the next stage. So let's go ahead and I guess I should have played Hotfix before I cycled through all the storm charges as well. Not that it really matters, because I can end the turn here. I don't want to play Adaptive Strike because I actually don't want to shuffle more of those into the deck. Enemy comes back on its turn, and we've got 30 incoming damage this turn. Let's start with a Thinking Ahead, because I'm trying to draw into Cool-Headed. And I do want the Defragment and the Thunder both. So I'll put Dual Cast on top. Oh, I fully forgot Echo Form again, so I probably should have played something a little bit different there. Let's try to cycle through to my Frost Orb a little faster. So I'm going to play Cool-Headed first. Then I can play Defragment. And even though I gave up a little bit of damage there, the reason for that is I want to cycle to my... I'll play, yeah, Defragment, because I want to play a power. I want to cycle through to my Frost Orb to be able to trigger it immediately. Focus Strike is free this turn, so I'll do that. And then I still have 30 incoming damage, so I do need to find some more block this turn. We've got 9 from Defend, and I could draw 4 off of Skim. If I draw 4, I could... And Thunder is basically free to... Thunder and Loop are basically free to play. In fact, they're energy positive, because they're going to make something free and give me energy off of Subroutine. So let's play Thunder here. Actually, I can just kill this enemy, right? I don't have to worry about the incoming damage. Forgot how much damage I was going to be doing. And then I'm going to play Skim, because I do want to try to draw into Charge Battery here. Then it doesn't matter what else I do this turn. Alright, so I'm double casting something here. I could double cast Null, I could double cast Cool-Headed, I could double cast Hotfix. 30 incoming damage, I think I am going to... And I no longer have a bunch of powers to trigger Storm. I think double casting Hotfix is still just going to be so much additional damage that I'm going to do that. I'll play the Cool-Headed. Oh, again, I messed up. The enemy's intangible this turn. So I do need as much block as I can get. I'll go for the eyes here, so only 21 damage incoming. I'll play Synchronize, I'll play Charge Battery, and I'll play Defend, and that blocks all the incoming damage. I forgot it was ethereal was intangible on the first turn and not the second turn. So this turn I could double cast Skim or Charge Battery. I could double cast Thinking Ahead. I think I'll just double cast the Charge Battery. It's energy positive, so it's never going to be wrong to do that. I'll play the Skim first. I'll play Hotfix here. Play Zap. I'll play Cool-Headed. And then I have plenty of block, so I can just play Focus Strike. And then I'm going to play Thinking Ahead and put Whistle on top of the deck. Because I probably want to play the Whistle next turn anyways. Even though the enemy is intangible this turn, just stunning it is still going to be pretty good. So we'll play Whistle. It's now... Oh, I thought that would stun for 2 turns, but it's not a debuff. Okay. We'll play Hotfix. I'm doing some science today. And I could Skim into any 0. Doesn't really matter, because I don't really want to... Do I want to trigger the Frost this turn in order to get some extra zaps? I think not, so we'll just cycle through the deck a bit. A lot more sequencing errors again in this fight. There's definitely stuff I could be doing better here. Okay, so what am I double casting this turn? I think I'm double casting Focus Strike. Just a lot of focus. Play Cool-Headed, and I'll play Null, because I can finally get the weakness on this enemy this turn. And I might as well play Go for the Eyes. Got some burns in the deck. So the card that exhausts cards from your hand would have been good to have in this spot as well. Something to keep in mind. I'm going to double cast Synchronize. That's +8 focus. And I can play Cool-Headed. I can then play a Charge Battery. And I'll play Zap because I do want to get a Lightning Orb out there. And then the nice thing here also is that my Dark Orb is going to go off on the turn when the enemy is not intangible. So I could dual cast here. It will... the thing about dual cast is it doesn't quadruple cast the rightmost orb. It will dual cast the 2 rightmost orbs. So we would be double casting a Dark and then a Frost. Or I could double Hotfix and just get even more focus. I think double casting the Dark Orb for more damage is still better. And then we get to double cast the Frost Orb anyways. I'll play Hotfix. I'll play Cool-Headed. I will play Thinking Ahead first. And I'm going to put the Skim on top of my deck. Because this turn I want to play Charge Battery. And is Synchronize good enough? That's going to be +10 block for 35. So I would just take 2. Now taking 2 is actually okay because we haven't used our Centennial Puzzle yet, so I'm gonna do that. Oh no, wait, I got more block as well because I hadn't played an attack that turn, so our Ripple Basin went off. And then this turn the enemy's intangible. I'm just gonna double cast Skim so that I can have the best chance of drawing into stuff that I want to set up for future turns. We'll play Charge Battery. We'll play Cool-Headed. I'll play Zap because I want multiple Frost Orbs next turn. Although, maybe I should have played the Null for a Darkness Orb in the next turn. Yeah, that probably would have been better. Not that it really matters. We're going to win the fight next turn, basically no matter what. So this turn, I have double cast Cool-Headed to draw 4 cards and cycle through my orbs here. We'll play Hotfix. Maybe I'm not winning the fight this turn, because I didn't draw into any ways to spin orbs. I'll play Synchronize, drawing up to 10 here. Or no, I'll play Synchronize for focus. I'll play Skim, drawing up to 10. Or I could start with Thinking Ahead. Let's do that. I'll put a Burn on top of the draw pile, and then I could double Charge Battery to block as much damage as possible. Or I could roll looking for more ways to play orbs. Honestly, have messed up this fight very badly. I mean, we're going to be fine, but definitely some stuff I could be doing quite differently. Null for a bunch of darkness, but yeah, this is why I said I messed up the fight, because I now have enough burns in the deck that I'm always going to be taking like a big hit at some point. So if I had less health, then I would have been in a lot of trouble there. But here I can double Focus Strike, and then I can play some Cool-Headeds to spin through. I can play this, I can play Dual Cast, and we win the fight. But pretty bad play at the end there, we still got there. So there you go. I was able to kind of stumble my way through a Defect run, despite some fairly bad errors at various points in the run. But still managed to win. I will say, let me quickly go over the deck, because I want to kind of learn from some mistakes here. We also had the Lizard Tail, so even if I died, we would have come back. So things that worked well. Multiple charge batteries were great. I really liked those. Adaptive Strike for the early game was awesome, and Focus Strike was very good. I wasn't that impressed with Synchronize. Ultimate Strike we only took just to remove a card from the deck, so it being pretty bad was fine. Hotfix felt kind of like a dead draw a lot of the time. But overall, I felt like this was a pretty good setup. I would have liked one more way to trigger Lightning at the end, so maybe taking Thunder over the Tempest was bad, because I could have just used Tempest to roll through a bunch of lightning orbs. Obviously, Thunder did a bunch of damage as well, but maybe just playing the orbs more often was better. Yeah, but I think what really worked out well for this run was focusing, no pun intended, on focus, and on making sure that I had enough density of good blocking cards in the deck. I think something I've been doing wrong previously was not upgrading cards like Charge Battery, and instead upgrading more greedily, upgrading cards like Zap and Dual Cast, and not taking enough cards like Charge Battery in order to have enough block to defend myself. So this felt like a better edition of the Defect deck, but I'm very interested in how you guys would have played it differently. And how you would, what advice you have for me and what you'd have done differently. Obviously, there were a bunch of sequencing errors, some of which I wouldn't make a second time, some of which I probably would, because they're just playing too fast and not doing the math ahead of time. And this is a pretty complex character. But as I said at the beginning, I'm very interested in learning and improving at the Defect, and with your help, I will get there. As always, my friends, if you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a comment and hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Slay the Spire 2 and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.